DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. A reminder that you can nominate the youth sports volunteer that you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week. Submit your nomination at kslsports.com/contest and listen every Thursday afternoon to JJ and Alex for the winner. Help us celebrate the efforts of those volunteers making an impact with the Hercules Hero of the Week, sponsored by Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Meals. DJ, PK, and we are joined now by David Smoak. David, welcome back to the show.
Well, hello. It's good morning. Good little intro music, great promos. I hope you guys are doing well. I know the Utes are turning the corner, so to speak, and trying to get themselves involved in all this, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They are trying to run their way to Dallas. They are, and you know, you've covered college football for a long time. David's on 365 Sports in Waco, Texas. And, you know, if I ask you who the top rushing teams are in the country, you're going to go straight to the service academies. They're going to run the option, and they're going to run the ball forever. And after you get to two of the service academies, the third team in the country running the ball is the Utes. There is no trickeration. There's a little deception maybe with are they handing it off in the fly sweep, or are they pulling the ball from the running back, but they just run it at you, run it at you, and run it at you. And so I think question number one as they get ready to go to Baylor is Baylor up for this? Because it looks like that run defense has had a few weeks where they really struggled, and there is zero surprise about what the Utes are going to do.
No, is Baylor ready for it? They're kind of schizophrenic at times, but at the same time, consistently the same. I know that makes no sense, but they have not stopped the run. I know they just had the off week, and before that, they beat UCF 30-3. Honestly, I don't care. They needed to win. They got to find a way to, make sure they get to a bowl game, which is where this program is. Last year they had to make the run from 2-4 to 8-4 to get to a bowl game, and so same thing. They fall behind. They take all this energy to get back in it. A couple of times they've been able to win, but most of the time they just can't have enough gas left. So no, I would expect, and Utah. I think I brought this up, so I'm sorry if I've repeated myself here, but I remember the first time Utah-Baylor played. Utah was, I still think, a non-conference game, and I had somebody explain to me that they thought watching Utah just play the game of football was like trying to play against a big ball of angry razor blades. And they've gotten back to that. Last year, of course, it was a mess for Kyle Whittingham, but no, I don't. Do I expect Baylor to be able to stop the run? No, I don't. They've struggled against whether it's a running quarterback with Jackson Arnold, who's not even playing now for Auburn, and they've also struggled with people just taking the ball and shoving it down their throat. So, and then that should set up obviously the play action for Utah. So I don't expect Baylor's defense to really have the ability to stop the run against it. They don't have enough oomph inside Baylor. They don't have enough bodies inside. So I do not think that unless Utah just has a bad day, that they should be able to pretty much do what they want with a run game.
If I'm just judging on pro style and pro style alone, I think Sawyer Robertson is as good as any quarterback in the conference and what he can do, his ability to drop back. If he's got the time, he's going to not only complete a high percentage, but he's going to spread the ball around. You just look at the receiving yard stats, and they've got four guys over 400-plus yards in receiving. A couple guys on the top have some pretty good stats. And it's been this way for a couple years. I never understood why they didn't start him at the beginning of last year. But nevertheless, I think the guy's really good as far as a passer. It boils down to whether he's got time. And Scally dials up these defenses. What he does is he'll make adjustments upon the offense's adjustments. And so he's a real master at calling plays after he sees what the offense has been doing at the line of scrimmage, which is sort of reverse the way it works. But that's how they do it, and they're very good. So the question for you being, how do you think they'll be able to do as far as being able to pick up blitzes and providing the time that Sawyer needs to throw?
It's a great question. And again, just like, can they stop the Utah run game or attack? I don't think they can. I don't know if they'll be able to keep Utah off of Sawyer Robertson. He kind of went through a little funk, and I don't. He was so good so early, even though they lost the game to Auburn. lost a heartbreaker to Arizona State. Sawyer Robertson has been good, but there was a stretch there where I think all of this, not that it was a amount of burden on him, but I said early on, they have to score 35 points a game to have a chance to win a game because they gave up so much on defense. And I know Sawyer Robertson, I asked him one time, guys, early in the year, it just seemed like he wasn't taking off 3 to 4 times a game, which when he does, he could get 8 to 10 or 12 or 15 and pick up a third down and, mid-distance or longer. And I had asked him whether or not he was told not to run. Did anybody on the coaching staff, because he's such value, hey, protect yourself? No, that wasn't it either. Then you wonder, okay, is it because he's trying to protect himself because of what might be in the future for him? That's not his style. I just think he's really good. And as you said, you defined him perfectly. But it's been kind of a treading water. He's put up some decent numbers, but he was leading the country in yards per game and all of that. And that's kind of slowed down a little bit. And I think it's obvious. Their run game is okay. They lost Dawson Pendergrass, who's like the grinder, the pounding guy, before the season started. Bryson Washington's really pretty good, 1,000-yard rusher last year, but he's been in and out. They got some young running backs that give him a little lift, but it all still falls on protecting Sawyer Robertson. And I'm not trying to I'm not a Baylor alum. I didn't go to Baylor. I cover them. In fact, our show now has become as much more overall Big 12 than anything else. But I don't think this team, barring Utah throwing up on themselves, has enough to make this a competitive game. If it is, it'll be a nice. First of all, Aranda needs to win. The program needs to win, but can they stop the run? I doubt it. Can they protect Sawyer Robertson from a defense that's playing at a really nice level? I think that's going to be a challenge. And all it takes with Baylor's offense and puts them on the backside is fall behind. And then if Sawyer gets pressured, throws a bad throw, a pick or whatever, and then next thing you know, you're down 14 or 17. That's been their MO. It has been. So this is a team in Utah that's hot. They kind of have their focus back. I'm not saying they didn't have it even a few weeks ago, despite a couple of losses. I just think this is Utah on a train headed downhill in a good way, and Baylor is scratching, and clawing to try to stay above water.
It seems like they really do have to pressure the quarterback because it seems like matching up with all these wide receivers is difficult.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you love 2, 3, or 4 of them, but it's a big no. But actually, tight end Michael Trigg, who's on his third school, appears to be the most dangerous of them all, which is saying something.
Yeah, no, Michael Trigg has a really, really good chance of being drafted and playing on Sunday. He's that good. He made some catches against the UCF that were just phenomenal. He's got the body. He's got the size. His thing is just keep maturing, Michael. Just keep, every day, get up, smile, go to work. You have a chance to play on Sundays. He is a fantastic tight end. But he's also more than he's kind of got that hybrid, the tight ends that go down the seams. He makes catches in crazy ways. His body can twist and turn. He's a great tight end. I don't use that word very often, but as a college football player, he's among the best. Mackey Award, all that stuff that he's been a part of the watch list. The other receivers, they have a bunch of them, and they've all done something here at times, whether it's Hawkins or whether it's Wilson or whoever it might be. Cameron. I don't know if they've thrown the ball and gotten Josh Cameron enough involved. He's a big body. He's a possession receiver. He's a hell of a punt returner, too. So when he catches the ball in the perimeter, he has a chance to make somebody miss because he's used to doing that as a punt returner. I don't think they've gotten him nearly involved as they need to, and it could be because of what the defense is doing. They have weapons. I don't think the running game, they're averaging about what they did, but I don't think it's been as dynamic. And I think that's, again, because they've gone to a younger group, although Bryson Washington is the guy. And the offense has not been the problem. However, it was when they've lost. They're not the reason Baylor's at 5-4. they're probably the reason Baylor's at least 5-4 because of what they can bring to the table. But there have been a couple of games when it's been hit and miss. And now you've got this team in Utah that does all the things, as you guys said, that they do. So I'm intrigued. It's a 6 o'clock kick here. I'm intrigued. They've had a lot of that 11 o'clock games, which a lot of times when you're not very good, you get stuck at 11 o'clock. And sometimes you're on ESPN Plus. But I think this is going to be – here's one of the other things. The Baylor fan base is disconnected right now. They're frustrated. Last year, it was a nice finish to the year, even though they lost the bowl game to LSU. They're very disconnected between the athletic department, Aranda, the football team. This is a fan base that's very wishy-washy, and I don't even know. I would hope, for God's sakes, just as a Division I football school, that you have a nice crowd at the game on Saturday night. But guys, I'm promising you this: I don't know that. I got away from worrying about, hey, where is there? That doesn't affect me at all. I'm in the press box, but I don't know. I think Utah might give them a chance to get the juices flowing a little bit when it comes to the fan base. But I'm not sure they'll have 30,000 people there, and that's not because it's Utah. It's just because of the disconnect with the fan base. Everybody's bitching and moaning, excuse my language. Everybody's mad. They don't seem to be on the same page. Is it a blackout? Is it a whiteout? Is it what? Are they going to stripe it? They fight over things that are ridiculous rather than going to the game, getting loud, and getting focused on trying to help your football team win a game.
Since you speak of doing a Big 12-centric show, I'm going to ask you a Big 12 question, and we've seen Texas Tech take off, and a lot of it, you got to acknowledge, it's been the money. And so you could say, well, they bought the best defense that they can get, blah, blah, blah. And you can go either way you want to go on this. But to me, if I wanted to pose it as a line of, okay, here's the standard financially, Big 12. It's not like Lubbock is a glamour spot or anything, but nevertheless, they got Cody Campbell. They went all in. They bought these guys, a lot of them this year, on just a one-year deal, and their defense is awesome, and they're probably going to win the conference and get in the playoff, and we'll see what they do. So with that in mind, has the standard been set now to where everybody in the conference, this is what it's going to take financially. And so the coaches can say, hey, if we don't do what they did, we're not going to get the results that they got. So in a sense, you could view it as a positive in terms of this is a standard. Are we willing to get in the ball game and play at that level or not?
I agree. And one of the things, there's other teams that have spent a bucket load of money on their roster, but they're 4-4, 4-6, 5-4 right now. We have a ton of Texas Tech fans that watch our podcast, our afternoon podcast every day, and really early on they got kind of overly sensitive. I thought, yeah. They're excited about, you bought your roster, okay. Well, that might have been going on in the SEC for 50 years. We don't know.
Of course.
So, but I tell you what. You can get the players in. You mentioned, why didn't Sawyer Robertson play right away last year? Well, that's because DeQuan Finn got a bunch of money to come in from Toledo, but that didn't work out. I mean, that didn't work out. You could tell pretty quickly. So you can get all the players, and you can get some guys that are fantastic, but you got to get the right guys, and you got to get the chemistry, and you got to get guys that are there. Yes, okay, no question, they're going to go to Tech or whoever because of the money. But they seem to have a great, and I know this word gets overused, especially if you're good or bad. They got a great culture. Everyone is there for a reason. Yes, they're getting paid. So is everybody else. But they didn't just go get 8 or 9 guys and overpay them. They got 8 or 9 guys that fit specific needs, and also all seem to be on the same page. Texas A&M, remember Jimbo Fisher had all those number 1 top-rated recruiting class, bunch of money back when NIL was starting to kick in. That team never amounted to anything. In fact, it blew up, and he's no longer there. So I think what Tech has done, I don't know if that's sustainable, but they have more than Cody Campbell. They've got like 5 or 6 billionaires that have kind of gone all in, along with whatever they do with their alumni base or whatever else. When you win, people spend money. When you win, people want to spend more money. And right now they're in a really good place. I always thought that the Big 12, when Oklahoma and Texas left, even though Texas was hit and miss for a decade, I always thought that this opens the door. Who's going to step in and stay there? Not TCU 1 year, Baylor 1 year, whoever 1 year. Who's going to go in and open the door and stay there and become a resident of this is where we're at the top? Not just because there's a bunch of pretty good teams, but who's going to take it to the next level? There's no question. Utah, with what they did in the Pac-12, yes, last year was a disaster, but at least like they have signs that they're kind of back to who they want to be personality-wise. BYU, hey, no question what they're doing at BYU. I thought it would be Kansas State, Iowa State, maybe TCU, Baylor, when it's Texas Tech and a couple of others. And I think Texas Tech is here to stay. I don't think this is a one-off. I don't think this is TCU in 2022 or whatever that was. Baylor in 2021. I think they're here to stay. I think they have the formula, they have the backing, and now especially since it's working, my goodness, they got people who are probably wondering if they could. I'm not trying to. They have people who probably wonder if they're going to be able to pay their rent, who would put $100 or $500 or $1,000 to something, right? Because they're excited. 1996, the Big 12 started. Texas Tech has never won the Big 12 title. They've never played for the Big 12 title. That. You talk about thirsty. That's exactly. They're sick and tired of hearing about that, and that's why they have all this momentum. And yes, the guys who got involved with the money and the facilities and all that helped as well, but they also seem to be having the right players too.
David, we're a little over time here, but we got to sneak in one question. But I'll need a shorter answer on this. Houston's 8-2. They've got two Texas teams left, TCU and Baylor. Are they going to finish this 10-2 and end up possibly in a big tie for that second berth in the Big 12 title game? And do you think they can sustain this, or are they a one-off team?
I think Willie Fritz is a great football coach. He's built winners everywhere he's been. Do they finish 10-2? They have that bad loss to West Virginia, so that's in their pocket. And so I would think maybe they split the next two. I don't know who they'll beat or not. But I think what they've done has been one of the fun stories along with Cincinnati in the Big 12. I think Willie Fritz wins, period. And I think Houston is a sleeping giant. And I'm not like Arizona State or whoever, but I do think that they are. I think this is going to be something where you'll see Willie Fritz win consistently.
David, we appreciate it. As always, thanks for bringing all the knowledge and all the energy.
Hey, guys, you guys are the best, man. Appreciate you, and I appreciate when I listen to your show, you guys do a great job, too.
David Smoak, he's the host on 365 Sports in Waco, Texas. Interesting, but not surprising when you think about it, that has gone from what you would think is a Baylor show. I mean, he's right in Waco, and the school's right there, to... And they love football in Texas, and there's 4 Big 12 teams, and it's not that far to Houston, right? It's not that far to TCU. Okay, well, it is a little ways to Texas Tech. And with podcasts now,
300 miles.
yeah, but with podcasts now, everybody's everywhere.
Yeah.
So I get how he's turning into more of a Big 12 football
Johnny Cash
show.
was a forerunner. You've been everywhere, man.
Johnny Cash, David Smoak.
Yeah.
Link them together. All right, DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.